Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dropped Frames. What episode are we on?
Today is 1012.
Okay, 1012. Zeke's in New York, and that means he's on hotel internet. Zeke, are we coming in loud and clear?
You are. I can hear you guys just fine. I just had to re-up my settings because it doesn't keep anything, of course.
Because hotel internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. What are you doing in New York, by the way? We'll just get that out of the way at the top of the show.
I am hosting for Twitch New York Comic Con for the next 4 days. I'll be here doing the interviewing and that kind of stuff. And New York Comic Con is one of those ones that I actually kind of ask or beg for. Yeah. Because big names come here. This is where I met the most famous people, I guess. This is where I met Adam West and Adam Savage and Mila Jovovich and Peter Capaldi, all kinds of different people. But this is the one that's super chock full. When I go to San Diego Comic-Con, it's just we're hired by Skybound. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I get to meet Robert Kirkman, which is cool. Yeah. The creator of Walking Dead and whatnot. But for the most part, it's mostly just comic artists and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but they're not on film or TV.
Okay, I have a question for you before I jump to that. Let's introduce our guest. BurkeBlack, welcome to the show, sir.
Howdy.
How's it going? I love, you can't see this because it's green screen. You have the most pristine painted wall I've seen of any streamer behind. You even have the door painted green.
And the door jamb.
And the door jamb, yeah. And no, there's not even a handle on the door because it'd show up in the green screen.
That's right. So this is the work of my father, by the way. Who is a master at this stuff. I would have screwed this up really bad.
It's a well painted room. It's good.
Man. Yeah, it's the I think it's Bear Apple Crisp is the brand.
Oh, that's the paint. With. Bear Apple Crisp.
Yeah. Okay. I got tired of bumping into because I like to get out of my chair and do stuff sometimes. So I got tired of running into a cloth all the time. So it was I just paint the room.
Yeah. Do they sell a lot of Bear Apple Crisp at the paint store? Is that a hot?
They don't, actually, no, it's not the hottest.
You're saying not many people want to paint it bright green. They don't. It's not a big decorating color. I wonder if they have any other stream. I wonder if the only people that buy that is streamers and people wanting to paint. I don't know. I don't know what you would want to.
Insane asylums.
Insane asylums, maybe. Yeah.
If you want to torture somebody, put them in a green room like this.
Yeah. We'll catch up with you.
It's calming seafoam is what I call it.
We'll catch up with you in just a sec, Burke. But Zeke, back to the question: Are you interviewing any celebs this weekend that you're excited for?
Probably. I can't really say yet, and it's not because I'm under NDA or anything. It's because I'm not sure. That celebrities are weird, man. Yeah. Sometimes they just fucking cancel on you. You got to fill time. But I mean, there's definitely some cool stuff coming, like television series, Amazon series, Netflix series. People from those are coming up. Some people we've had before. I think Adam Savage is coming again.
Nice. Is he going to do a cosplay? Does he do the cosplay stuff at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con? Or is that
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
I always watch his videos when he does that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he gets deep into that stuff. He loves it, and that's what that's kind of what we talk about, or what we talked about all the time.
You and Savage. Yeah. You don't even call him Adam anymore. You just call him Savage.
Should I put butter on it, Mr. Mythbuster?
Yeah. Is that his actual last name, by the way? Random question. Do you know? Is Savage his last name?
I'd imagine. I don't think that's a screen name. He doesn't seem like the guy that would take one.
It's a pretty fucking cool last name. I've never actually thought about that before.
It is. Well, what about the Savage
Adam
Nation
Whitney
guy?
Savage.
That's his last name. What about who? Zeke?
The Savage Nation guy.
I don't. What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, never mind then.
I'm not hip to the.
It's a political podcast radio.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You were going. I was like, is it that one guy?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they're related. Who knows? Because I don't know anything about political talk shows or anything like that. That's all going to be on /Twitch this weekend, Zeke?
Yes, it is. Yes, for the 4 days starting tomorrow at I want to say 10 a.m. Eastern.
Cool. Well, I'll be looking to see what interviews you tweet out so that I can come watch them. You better get You got to get some good ones. Who's the number one guy you've interviewed there? Was it Adam West? Would that be the biggest
number one guy?
Yeah, like the biggest to you, I guess, that you've interviewed at New York Comic Con.
Well, I'll tell you this, like, because it's a difference between who I'm excited to interview and what, because I've showed pictures, like my gaggle of pictures to a lot of people, and it's surprising how many people get different reactions. Like, this guy, and they're like, meh. Then I'm like, and then I interviewed this person, they're like, oh my god, their minds just like blow out of their heads. So, but the ones that people immediately recognize the most of the pictures I've shown are Adam West and Dr. Cox, John C. McGinley from Scrubs.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Like,
was he an asshole?
Like, fucking yeah. No, he wasn't an asshole. He was intense.
Okay.
He was intense, man. He's like
I could
really
see that.
focused and knows what he wants to do. He's built too. He's super in shape.
Really?
Yeah, he's strong.
I guess you don't see that because he's always wearing the scrubs. You never get to see. I don't know what else he's in besides Scrubs. I don't know what he's done in his acting career.
He's promoting a new show called Stand Against Evil.
Okay. Is that on some weird cable network?
I think so.
One of those.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. Well, cool. Good luck this weekend with all the interviews. May everything go well and on time, as it never does in production world. So, good luck with that. One of the things we like to do with our first-time guests here on the show is talk to them about their career, their Twitch life, and how they got started. So, Burke, how long have you been streaming on Twitch?
I think I'm coming up on 4 years total on June 29th. Yeah.
Nice.
The next June 29th will be 4 years, I think.
Well, early, I guess, well, you got a ways till June, but
yeah,
I guess early congrats to that. I guess, how did you start out? What got you into streaming to begin with back then?
I kind of knew about Twitch, by like 2010 to 2012, but everyone I talked to was like, yeah, that's for like MLG people, man. Only the pros stream on Twitch, and that's the only reason people would watch them. You should stay away from that. And I was like, okay, I really wasn't really into the whole MLG scene or nothing like that. So I was like, whatever. And I think it was like 2013. Recently just left a job that I had invested everything into that failed miserably. And, money was tight. And I was looking for this game called State of Decay. I was like, man, I want to know more about this game because, I didn't have the $20 really to invest in something unless I knew I wanted it. So I Googled it. And I saw somebody was live streaming it, and it went to Twitch, and I was watching it. And I was like, well, this is not really an MLG game, but somebody's streaming it, And I started looking more into Twitch, and, and back then they had, like, League of Legends was up there, and Call of Duty, all the, World of Warcraft and all that stuff was, like, up there. And I saw this weird game. It was like it had a goofy title. I think it was like that nine something anime game for PlayStation 3 at the time.
Neo?
Yeah, no, not Neo. It was like an RPG. It's like Nai something.
Oh, Ni no Kuni.
Something. Yes, something like that.
I don't know how I'm pulling these answers out, but man, let's keep going.
I think that's it. I clicked on that, and I started watching this bald guy with a little bit of a goatee, and he was playing it to 500, maybe 600 people were watching him at the time, and it was Dan's Gaming. And I was like, well, this is not MLG. This is just a guy playing a game and talking to a group of people. I'm like, I play games. I'm a gamer. I could maybe do this, So I watched him and Elohim for a while, and then I gave it a try, and then, kind of did well, actually.
Yeah. One of the things we always ask people when they come on the show for the first time is when was it like the full-time job? When were you able to say that streaming was fully supporting you financially, and you were able to kind of live that dream, so to speak?
I would say recently, actually, like maybe a year and a half ago ish. Like when let's see, Warhammer came out March of last year, I believe, right?
Sounds right.
So, yeah, right around that time.
Okay.
Right around that time is when it did.
Was that kind of your big first break game then? Your I guess breakthrough game or whatever? Everyone usually has one.
I guess that's it. Yeah, I guess Warhammer you could say is the one that got me the most eyes. It didn't it built up from there. No, well, like Stellaris.
Because that was
no.
like your big, like the 4X, like those 3 4Xs came
Yeah.
out, and it was like back to
It
back
was-
to back, and
it
you
was
went from like
perfect. It was a
800
perfect
average to
explosion.
1500 average to 2000 average. Yeah.
But Warhammer was the big, 3,000 to 4,000 a night. You know what I mean? Stellaris was a solid about 700 to 800 around that demographic, But it really started, if you want to go back, it's really started when the Fallout 4 robot DLC dropped. That's when it started, really, the uptick. So before that, I was probably getting like 150, 200 people average, you know what I mean? Like it would be in there. And then when that DLC drops, everybody wanted to see it. So I did the full playthrough of the entire Fallout 4 experience, and because I skipped it, I skipped it when it released. And I played that, and I started seeing, 300 to 400 people in there every night to watch that. And then Stellaris drops. I got the early access to that. 600, 700, 800 people, all the way to Warhammer. And then it's just like, just everywhere all of a sudden. Yeah. 3,000 people, 4,000 people tuned it in. And I was like, what do I do? There's so many people here. Don't do anything stupid. You'll be on live stream fast.
Yeah. Did you find yourself doing anything different with the bigger viewer numbers, or did you just kind of stay the same?
No, I just did. I realized, like just do what I always do, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And sure. It turned out like a lot more people were like, "This is awesome! I love this guy's cool." So it worked out real well, especially with the way I play Warhammer.
What is the way you play Warhammer? Slow and steady, or how do you? How would you say that?
Like I'm a part of the Total War community, whether they like that or not.
Okay.
But I do not play it the way they would like me to, which is like purely strategic. I am Caesar incarnate. I can dominate my enemy with grand tactical overlay. I'm zoomed in like 90% of the time, going, "Look at that! Oh man, that guy's running for his life. Look at him go!"
Yeah.
And all my archers are now dead because I wasn't paying attention.
We'll get to Warhammer 2, which is a game that launched about a week or so ago. I know both of us have been playing it, so we'll talk about that in just a sec. One of the things that's interesting about your stream, would you say you're a character stream? Do you have a character, or is it different from your everyday persona, or?
It's a more enhanced version of myself, I would say. Yeah.
So you kind of turn it on basically when
yeah,
okay.
Turn it on. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah. I'm more of like just a character theatrical kind of streamer. I love the theatrics. I love overhyping dumb, stupid, cheesy stuff and just overreacting to everything.
You'll never make it. You'll never make it like that. It's a bad plan, man. You got to get a better business plan.
I'm really glad somebody brought that up. Thank you, Zeke.
It's an intervention. This is actually not drop frames. Everyone pull back. We're actually not streaming.
This is dropped dreams.
Dropped dreams. Wow. What if we actually did a show where we just invited people on, just like, "You're not going to make it, man. Just stop. Just stop streaming." Jesus.
Oh, man.
That'd be let's not do that ever. Let's actually do that like once or twice. It'd be fun. So what... I feel like I've never actually sat down with like I guess we'll use the term character streamer. Like, what is that draining? Like, do you find yourself during a stream just being like, "Man, I'm like real tired right now. I don't know if I'm going to be at 100% of that character today. I need to like dial it back." Does that ever happen, or are you just full throttle all the time?
I mean, sure, that could happen. Like you can be drained. Like I stream 10 hours a day anyway, so that's just draining in of itself.
Totally.
But,
yeah, that's a lot.
Like I'm probably at my prime. I would say it's kind of weird, but I'm at my prime like at the first 4 hours. Like I'm really full of energy, and then things kind of dwindle down a little bit, and then I seem to pick back up for some. I don't know why it does that, but I seem to pick back up around. I'd say around 5, like the last 4 hours. So it's kind of weird. It's like my energy level kind of drops in the middle, but then gains momentum again. So it's just kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
Second win, man.
Yeah, exactly.
What, this is kind of opposite your time right now, right? Like you're usually sleeping at this point?
Yeah. Well, no, I should be up by now.
Okay. Wait, geez, what hours? Do you get like 6 hours of sleep a night? What the hell? Because you're taking up the night stream on Twitch, or the night slot, so to speak. So you must not sleep very much.
Well, let's see. I start the stream at 10 p.m. and then I end it at 8 a.m. And then I probably don't fall asleep until like 30 minutes because, just, the energy
You got to
of the,
wind
of the
down.
night,
Yeah.
And then I get up around 3 p.m. sometimes.
Jeez. Okay. How old are you? Random question.
38. I'm 38.
Gee, how the fuck do you have that much energy, man? What the hell? You're 30.
My body's 38, but I'm like, I don't know. I think I just turned 19 probably. I'm starting to get a little bit more responsible with things. So
Yeah, me and Zeke, there's no way we keep that energy, man. We gotta get our sleep. We just can't stay that energy, especially. I had no idea you were 38. You look much younger than that, so you're even keeping up appearances. Zeke, on the other hand, man, we're just,
Man, I love just being. I'm in the shit box or the shame box. It's fucking great. Like, life's good. I can't win, can't buy a win. It's all good. Whatever. But yeah, I didn't know we were of an age, Burke.
Oh.
Yeah,
we are.
I did not know that. I thought you were younger than me.
So we're Generation X, buddy. Yeah,
that's right, man.
Down with the millennials.
Oh, Jesus. So, are you a millennial?
Today? No, I'm finding myself getting more and more like, man, these kids and their music, it's just bad. It's just bad.
What am I? I think I'm Gen Y.
You're Gen Y. What is the? I always forget. I think I'm a millennial. How old are you, Co?
33.
I think I'm a millennial. I think I'm like right at the cutoff point of being a millennial.
You're under 30?
I'm 31. I just turned 31 like last month. So I think I'm right at the cutoff point.
What was your birth year?
1986. I think I'm right at the cutoff point.
I think that's a little early.
Oh, God. Have I been living a lie this entire time? Am I not a millennial? I got to go sell.
I'm Gen X.
I got to go throw some avocados away.
Wait, I am a millennial?
Yeah,
I don't know how this shit works.
We talked about this on my stream. I'm pretty sure you're a millennial too.
Froday, hold on.
Millennial is 35 to 25-ish. 31's millennial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're millennials, Co. We got to go buy some avocados. Get some toast.
Shit, I hate avocados.
Kind of
Same
like
here,
a Jeff
man.
Foxworthy thing where it's like you might be a millennial if.
Yeah, but it's just an informational Jeff Foxworthy. He just has the dates right behind.
If you take out plastic bottles from the trash and put them in the recycling bin, you might be a millennial.
I don't do that. I'm the most non-practicing millennial of all time.
So now that I've learned this, I need to make some calls. I'll be right back.
If 99% of what you say is sarcasm, you might be a millennial.
That makes sense.
Yeah, whatever.
No. Oh, Co, that's your $400 Path of Exile shirt, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, am I? Yes.
I have that too, Co. It's great.
Yes, it is.
I wear it as a thing of shame.
It feels good. It feels like dreams and clouds.
It does.
Great.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable.
For $400, I mean, they really went out of their way to just give us the most pristine shirt of all time. Do you know you could have said no to the shirt and gotten 700 more in-game points, by the way?
But I like $400 shirts.
Anyways, random side topic.
If you care about political issues but do nothing about them, you might be a millennial.
Oh, you're nailing it, Zeke. That's too real. That's way too real. Let's move on.
If you would rather give good vibes than effort.
Oh my God. There's so many things I want to say, but we're not turning this into the Savage podcast or whatever the fuck Zeke brought up earlier. It's not going to become the political
Dropped ideals.
Yeah, Jesus. So I don't know who would you say is kind of your not competition. Who else streams at night as much as you do? Elohim used to kind of take up that role. Now he's started actually streaming. I think he's actually got a new schedule that's during the night, maybe a little bit later. But who would you say is kind of the people that you're up against or in the same time slot, I guess is maybe the best way, because there's not really competition on Twitch. It's just time slot issues.
Oh gosh, that's probably the one question that I didn't think to come up. I don't know, man. Like honestly, I think I stream a lot of weird games that don't get streamed often on Twitch. So like I rarely see, other people playing the same game as me, unless it's like some major release, like with Battlefront 2 last night.
Yeah, yeah.
But you
Burke's
know,
time
like
slot people's are like Grimm's, Richard Hammer, Retro Gaijin.
Anthony's streaming around that time. Yeah, but they're all playing like
They're like
you know,
PUBG streamers.
They're niche games. Yeah,
Yeah.
All the big streamers there are playing their PUBGs, their Destinies, or whatever. They don't.
There's
So
not a
I don't know
variety
if,
streamer in your time slot,
Yeah.
really, or
so I
a
don't know if I
true
compete
variety.
with them.
Yeah. I think for a while we kind of all agreed on Drop Frames that the time slot that needed to be filled was that like late night time slot. It's one of the best ones to kind of grow a stream
Late night,
in.
early hour.
Yeah. Did you have those? Did you keep those hours beforehand, or have you adjusted over the past couple of years? Because that's 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. is not an easy time. It's a graveyard shift. It's kind of a
Definitely
nightmare
was
hour.
not planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not planned at all. Like basically, it's just that's always been my lone time. You know, like with my parents, you know, being around and everything. It's like, you know, they usually go to bed, you know, like 9:30 or 10ish, and then I'm in here gaming with my friends at 10 o'clock to about, you know, this is all of course after high school, not before. But you know, we played to like, you know, 1 or 2 a.m. and then that would be that. And then it just kind of came together because around the time that I started on Twitch, my core group of gaming buddies kind of disbanded. You know, like somebody got a job over here and they couldn't do it anymore. Somebody was moving or they, you know, whatever. So it just became my block that I would play games in. And then I started streaming on Twitch. And then I started adding hours, you know, the more I saw that this was becoming something. You know, so I used to get off at 3 and then I, you know, started going to 6. And then with Warhammer, I added the last 2 hours because for whatever reason, somebody's waking up from 6 to 8. You know, somebody's waking up in the world. I don't know who it is, but I see a nice big uptick between that time frame. And then Co comes on and it's like, then it just dies, you know. And they're like, all right, Burke, I'll see you later. I'm going to go watch Co. All right. Yeah, take care.
I do see and also read and hear a lot of parallels between both Co and Burke, where Burke kind of takes up the late night hours. Then, like you said, you usually get offline around 8, and that's right around the time that Co's coming on. So do the two of you see a lot of shared viewers and shared fans in that sense?
I definitely do, yeah.
Not only do we have a large overlap, since Burke streams right before me, and frequently I'll have people coming in. Burke raids me every so often, of course. Thank you for that, Burke. But we have an overlap in our sub community. We have an overlap in our general viewers. We're both safe for work. So I know for a fact that I've actually had people mention how much they appreciate being able to go from one safe to work to another safe to work. We also both, I mean, Burke was a founding member of the coalition. He's a New Game Plus with me now. Yeah, we have a pretty significant overlap. So, and we have similar cores where we just kind of like to have good times.
Yeah.
Keep much negativity and bad vibes out as we can.
Yeah.
So,
We've heard a lot from Co, kind of how he deals
Fuck
with
all that, dude.
Yeah. No, I'm not about all that shit, but
fucking negativity feeds me.
We've definitely talked to Co about kind of the PG streaming and whatnot. But from your perspective, Burke, how do you think that's a thing that's needed within streams? Do you think that's difficult to keep up in a stream, and how do you kind of factor and facilitate all that?
I think it used to be like in the early days. And it's definitely when you're first starting out, but once you reach a certain level, it's like people generally just accept it. And I've noticed that like it's like some people that have come into my channel and they're like the perfect little angels in there, right? They're like these wonderful people. They're kind and courteous. As soon as I see them in another channel, they're like, you know, F you stupid scumbags, you piece of crap. And I'm like, is that the same guy that was just like, you know, talking about how he wants to save children and everything? I don't know what happened. So
sounds like the internet to me.
Hey, scumbags do good things sometimes.
I have a lot of fun playfully like I catch a lot of that too. Like I love especially when you follow your raiders into a stream. Like I raid Zeke all the time, and frequently I'll like follow people into Zeke's stream, and like you'll have these like really like there's one time when I go in and I raid Zeke, and Zeke is in full peacock plumage raid mode. He's got like the background on, he's got his helmet on, he's pulling hearts out, he's got the voice, whole thing going crazy. And one of the people that raided with me was this girl, been in my channel for like a year and a half, totally sweet. I know she's like a knitter, right? She's knitted me something. And I never have seen a bad word from this lady. And after Zeke is done and he just ate the heart, she goes, Did this guy just eat my fucking heart? What the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
I was just, literally in all caps. Like, she got timed out because I was just like.
That sounds about right.
Hell yeah, dude.
Sounds about right.
So come on back.
It's great.
I'll eat her heart again.
Burke, do you have like what would you say is the biggest amount of work going into that? Do you have like strict guidelines to your chat? Do you keep follower mode? Do you keep sub mode? Like where do you gauge the or rather blockade kind of the trolls and keep them out? How do you facilitate all that?
I think the last time I did a sub mode was like when I was getting spam botted by like 1 million bots and saying you're fat. Well, thank you for that. I didn't know until you told me. So overall, I would say the bot does like 99% of the work. You know, it'll just purge their message and say you can't say that. You can't say that word. You can't say this. And I know people just kind of go with it. You know, some people get in there and argue like, you know, you're never gonna make it on Twitch if you don't allow cussing.
Right.
You know, you just can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You know, like, all right, thanks guys, appreciate it. I'm gonna stick with what's worked for me, you know, up to this point. But I appreciate your feedback, you know. But,
I loved those messages, man.
Yeah. You're never gonna make it. You know, you stuck. To be more like somebody else.
They get all buddy with you. Hey, look, I really like your channel, but you need to understand, like, this is not gonna work. Okay, like, I know what you're trying to do is great, but
I like when like freedom of speech bullshit comes into the chat or like that type of stuff where it's like, oh, you're not allowing us to talk, like it's the internet, it's free speech, blah blah, and it's just like, come on, man, like what are you fucking doing?
No, I have a stock answer for that because I will time people out for shit, not violating most other people's channel, but shit I just don't like.
Yeah, no,
I will time them out. And
we all run our own America in our streams.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
it's a dictatorship.
The first thing I say, it's a Zeke-tatorship.
Yeah.
I am the king here. I am God here, and I decide who I deem worthy of using chat.
Yeah.
And if you are not worthy, you are gone. And there's no free speech. It's speech that I allow you to have.
Yeah. I had that. It was actually I was playing Cuphead, and I had the same thing that happened to you, Burke, where someone was, I forgot exactly what it was either like a backseaty message or they told my mods to go fuck themselves or some like negative comment from viewer X. And the next thing right before he got permanently banned was like, man, this is a great way to welcome people to your channel. You're never going to make it. I had like 4.5 or 5,000 viewers. I'm like, what?
Because that's not making it no more. That's your small time with that. If you don't have 20,000.
Yeah, there's no logic.
It's like looking at Usain Bolt and being like, this whole running thing isn't going to work
out. It's not going to work out. You're going a little slow. Yeah.
Slow down.
Yeah. Anyways, we could pick apart people like that all day, but let's not do that. Do you use Automod? You said the bot takes care of that. Do you use like MooBot or Automod?
No,
what are you using?
I have a custom bot that was
custom
made.
bot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the great Swifty Spiffy. So, yeah, he made a bot and it does. We call it the Kraken. You know, don't do anything or the Kraken's gonna get you. You know, it's perfect. So
it's perfect theme.
Yeah, it handles like 90% of the workload. So it's a pretty good job.
I think one of the other things that you probably get a lot, I think most successful streamers do, is what's that one piece of advice you give to people that want to start streaming?
Don't embrace the cringe, baby. Be as cringy as you want to be.
Okay.
Don't worry about them other people. You're so cringy. Who cares? Who cares? Just do it.
Yeah.
Cringy people are more fun to be around anyway.
It's true.
Very true.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We keep Zeke around for that very purpose, you know.
You motherfuckers! I'm gonna fucking.
We call it resident cringe.
Yeah. Zeke, why do you always get
revenge will come one sweet day. There will be a revenge. There will be a fucking reckoning.
There probably will.
And the first name on the list is you, JP.
Okay. It'll probably be. You'll probably do something at TwitchCon. Like you'll be the sole dropped frames person at TwitchCon, and you'll be able to run the show. It'll be good. That's when you'll get me back somehow.
No, I would love it. I would love it if. Oh man, maybe I should talk to Benny Fitz and see if he has any buddies that might be able to come up and do like a
great.
puppet drop frames. with me at TwitchCon. What do you think, JP? What do you think, Co?
You can you can get like a good vibes puppet and then It Me Happy puppet and just use those next. It'd be great.
There you go. Yeah.
Instead of making characters of the two of us, it'd be good. Be good.
Yeah, that's all I would say, man. Is like, if you got an idea, don't be afraid to do it. Because you're worried about someone making fun of you. Obviously, people that make fun of you aren't going anywhere. So
yeah. Do you accredit success on Twitch just in general, not necessarily your own? Do you accredit it to right place, right time? Do you accredit to luck? Is it a factor of all those? Is it, deciding when you're going to stream having a lot of factor? Like, what would you say is one of the biggest reasons to be a success or to see success rather on Twitch?
I don't know if I'm like 100%. I realize that people really want to say that luck is a big part of it, and I think there is maybe some element to it. But yeah, you could be the luckiest person in the world, but if you have a boring channel, no amount of luck is going to help you. So I think the first thing is that you want to make a channel that is fun, not for the people watching. That's the important ones, right? It's just the people that are watching. You are trying to be putting on a show and entertain people. So as long as it's fun for them, then you're good. However whatever form that takes, great. But as long as you see them having a good time, that's what matters. And then after that, it's proper planning and strategy. Because I've always looked at Twitch as like a game, almost in of itself. It's a game of positioning, like Co always says, planning out, tackling what the right game at the right time for you, not necessarily, like right now, if you got like 10 viewers on a channel, it's probably not the best idea to do, stream Battlefront 2 right now because everybody's hitting that game. So, positioning is a big deal. What is that noise?
We're not hearing any noise. It's just you.
Oh, you guys don't hear it?
No,
No.
nothing on this side.
No.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
Must be something on my end then.
All right. So I'm sorry if this is embarrassing to you. I'm pulling up a stream from 2013 to show people kind of the growth.
Lordy.
You're playing PlanetSide 2
Lordy.
here. You have a shaved head.
Oh my gosh.
It's not the same person,
Oh
BurkeBlack.
gosh. Like a penis head. That's why I had to have the beard. That doesn't look right. Man, this is my early days, man. Jeez.
Oh my God.
Man, yeah.
My first 6 months were terrible. Okay, I did the worst thing you could possibly do.
First 3 years for me were fucking terrible.
I didn't take it seriously, but I thought, oh, look, you stream on Twitch and people just get, they make money and they're famous and they're popular. I play video games. I could do that too. And then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
Audio, video.
Oh, I'm not going to mute the stream. I'm sure the audio is just pristine. Let's just go with that. I feel like in everything that you haven't said a word yet. You haven't actually spoken. Were you a mute in 2013? Or was it one of the cases where you just didn't feel like anyone was watching, so you didn't need to say anything?
No, I talk to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe if you unmute, I think somebody's talking because we're in Ventrilo speaking to each other, I think. I'm not sure. But I did talk to myself a lot, but I had no chat. I didn't have a monitor for chat. I couldn't look at chat during this time. I was just streaming. I thought, oh, this must be what you do,
Yeah.
So, and this is actually a better camera. Before this camera, I was using the Xbox Eye.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
Grainy, horrible, terrible webcam. I was using that, and I think I was playing Just Cause 2. It was like the first game I ever streamed.
No, found that stream.
Yeah, that was gosh. But I talk to myself. I'm.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much how I am is pretty terrible. Just blabbing and getting into what I'm doing. Look how terrible that looks. That's
I will
literally
say,
my first stream right there.
I will say, for the first ever stream, this looks pretty good. Like, there's no graphics obviously or anything, but like quality wise, first stream's pretty good without a doubt. Is this Just Cause 2 multiplayer? Is that what this is?
Yeah, this is when they released the beta for people to test it, and I was like, that'd be a great time to start streaming. So I did it.
So this just kind of shows, I think, the world at large. A Microsoft Eye camera. You're using what you need, what you have, without like how much money I guess was put into this stream before you kicked it off. None. Probably okay.
Nah, this is day one, first stream I ever did, using everything I had around me at the time.
I like doing these first streams. This is good. You are talking in this one, so that's good. And then it was a 28-minute stream. There wasn't much length to it.
I know that's just a clip.
You think it's just a clip? Let's see.
Yeah, that's just a clip. I think I streamed for. That was the video. That's the only highlight I ever made because I don't have my first stream.
Okay, yeah. There's one that's 28 minutes, 31 minutes, and 25 minutes.
Yeah. So I made like little highlights of it because I thought, just in case.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably not going to go anywhere, but just in case, it might be nice to have that. You know. And I should have deleted them though. If I'm now thinking back at it.
the weird, not weird. The one thing that's always interesting to me is to go back and look at old streams like this. This is from 2013, and just see that people have actually like gone back and watched these VODs. I don't know how recent they are, but someone on the internet, 5 people on the internet have watched you play Total War Rome 2 on September 8th, 2013, way back when.
And that was my first uptick too. That's
really?
when I went from like 5 viewers to 40 a night playing Rome 2, and I was like,
"Wow, that's actually that's a substantial amount of growth at that stage." I feel like each viewer at that stage is gigantic growth.
Mm-hmm.
So to do that overnight is pretty crazy.
So Total War's been a part of my channel for forever, man. I think the second game I streamed was Total War Empire. I was playing like the Cherokee, I think.
Yeah.
And that. So, yeah, it was quite the journey, man. Like I think behind me, you can see like there's some toilet paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is this when the beard started, by the way?
Yeah. That's when it began. It's a baby. It just got born.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
That's
we were
crazy.
redoing our bathroom at that time, so like everything from the bathroom was in the room behind me. That was a good time.
Yeah. That was, like I said, 2013, 4 years ago. That was when it all started for you. I guess one of the other things, I feel like streamers just across the board, unless they're married or have someone that live with them, they kind of struggle with the idea of like not going out, not having a social life, just being kind of happy in their solidarity in a sense. Like they stream for a living. So, you wake up, you stream video games, you get off, you're too fucking tired to do anything else, you go to sleep, you do it all again the next day. Is that something that you've experienced? Is that something that you, I guess, struggle with? Is there a struggle there? Are you fine with that? Have you accepted that? Like, where are you at in all of that?
There's no struggle at all, man. Just gaming all the time. Just nothing but gaming all the time. That's all I do.
Yeah. It works for some people.
It's a social life for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that works for some people, and the more the merrier, for sure.
I got nothing.
Okay. Well, Zeke or Cody, you guys have any comments before we move on to what we've been playing for Mr. Burke?
I remember the first time I met you was at a coalition gathering or dinner or whatever, and I don't remember what con it was for, but we sat in the corner and drank beers while people were filing in, and we just had beers in a dark corner waiting for like more of the coalition to show up. And I remember going like, I can have a beer with this guy. This is good. Good guy.
I remember that because like I'm believe it or not, I'm really shy, especially with people that I haven't met or talked to before. So when I went to that coalition thing, it's like there were all the people were at the table, and Co was there, and Co's being all interactive with everybody, and I was like, I'll just go in the corner over here and I'll just sit down over here by myself, in this dark area. And then Zeke's like the only person, he saw me back there.
But that's what Zeke does.
And he sat down. He's like, hey, how you doing? And I was like,
Zeke's really good about doing that at like parties or anything. If he sees someone that's just kind of like, off on their own, he like has the fucking Terminator vision and singles them out. He's like, I need to go make sure that person's having a good time. I got to go over there and help him out.
Zeke is an inclusion fairy.
Yes.
He goes around the party, and it's not just people that aren't included. If people aren't having a good time, he'll just like start talking to people Or I've seen Zeke walk up to a random person and just be like, "Can I get you a drink?"
Yeah.
Oh, Zeke. You made me feel so welcomed, man.
Everybody should be having a good time around me. I'm great.
It's a perfect answer. Well, let's talk about some games that we've played. It's been, I guess, last episode we did was with Max when we did that Q&A episode. So, Co's been playing some small RPG like Divinity or something. I don't know. We'll talk to him about that. I think it's an okay game. We'll talk to him about that in a bit. But probably the one that's made the biggest splash over the past week is it's a little indie game called Cuphead, which I know both me, Co, and Zeke have put a lot of time into. Burke, you haven't touched it yet, I don't think.
Nah, I haven't touched it yet.
Not your thing, not your jam?
Now I watched Zeke play it, saw him just lose his mind playing that. I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to, take take years off my life playing this one. I think I might pass,
When did you watch me? Did you watch me after I had beat the game and I was trying to do expert stuff?
No, I don't know what you were doing. I was watching somebody posted some clips in my chat about you playing it, and I was like, okay, yeah. If he's getting that mad,
this has to be this is the expert. This is
the worst run and gun level, by the way, in my opinion. The hardest.
This is my pacifist run.
Oh.
Meaning no firing a shot.
Yeah.
You have to do that on all the run and gun levels in order to get the pacifist achievement. And that's what I was doing yesterday. Was trying to get all the achievements, and man, it can get real fucking frustrating, especially with these little satyr devil guys.
How do you get through the door without?
The third spit is a pink spit.
Oh, and you jump over him.
You parry the pink spit.
Holy
look,
shit.
I just get frustrated if I get hit. I'll just wait.
I was that
die.
same. Yeah. I was the same.
you have to do
you
it
parry the
perfect
pink
too?
spit, you jump over, and then you dash past, kind of a thing. There's a lot of dashing past things. And I think they made it because if you get the smoke bomb, and the smoke bomb is like a special ability, right? Also, a special ability is like more life, like the 2 extra hearts. So I think they make it like you have to have the smoke bomb in order for this to be
a thing,
doable.
Yeah. Wait, how do you get past this? Oh, you just jump. Okay.
Smoke.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah. You smoke past everything as best you can.
the game looks gorgeous, though.
I mean,
it really does.
That one took me a minute. I was like, oh, you got to share the platform with it. But this one took me a minute because I couldn't shoot anything, and it gets clogged. Like, especially with those satyrs that come like while you're trying to get past the wall, because you have to wait for the wall to spit a pink spit at you, or you can parry off of the wall's face at its highest point, but touching the wall hurts you. So it's risk reward. So It was easier for me to wait for the spit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man, I got nothing bad to say about this game. This game is fucking fun. The music is phenomenal. The art style is there. It is. See, that's me trying to do.
Yeah.
The challenge is fucking perfect. I think it's a great challenge. I like that the difficulty level can be set back to simple, and then you can pump it up to expert. I got my first S rank, and it took me a while. It was like on the first easiest boss to try to get an S rank.
The vegetable boss.
And you can only get S rank on expert. But it's worth it, man. I spent 2 hours. I think the longest I've spent on a boss since Dark Souls 3. The triple boss with the lady with the scythe and the guy with the bowl, the soup bowl, and it had 3 phases. It was in the DLC.
Oh! I was like, that's not a Cuphead boss. What do you? That's not a Cuphead.
Yeah, that guy took me a long time to beat.
I thought you were talking about Cuphead bosses, so I didn't understand what the fuck you were saying. But now I understand.
No, but even getting an S rank on this took me a minute because you cannot get hit once.
Yeah.
You have to do a flawless fight and all that kind of stuff. And you have to pick the weapons that work for you and whatever. But going through all of the S ranks is awesome. It's a great challenge. It's frustrating. I broke 1 controller so far, only 1.
That's not bad.
But that was after having beat the game, after having 100% of the normal run of the game. I got all the coins, and beat all the bosses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough, man.
What fight is this you're doing right here?
Phenomenal game. This is the very first fight.
The vegetable boss.
One of the very first fight.
You'd probably recognize the carrot.
Oh,
this guy right here. Oh, the thumbnail was not lined up at all. It's the one with the carrot guy that has like the eyes that swirls and he shoots the like hypnotic beam at you and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I saw you after 10 hours, JP. And let me tell you, dude, it was a joy.
Well,
it was just, I'm so glad I tuned in right then.
I think
we were on King Dice.
I don't think that was a result of 10 hours of the game. I think that was a result of 10 hours of me playing a game that is one that leads to anger with the chat feeding off that anger and responding to it in a negative fashion.
This game has fucking experts that come out.
Like,
it's so easy.
Why don't
you
use the shotgun? Why don't you use the shotgun on there? The shotgun like tears on apart. I'm like, the shotgun, and you can take this. This is my tip for you. Literal trash. Fuck the shotgun. You never ever need it.
You're talking about the spread gun, right? The pink spray. Yeah.
Yeah, the spreader. It's terrible. Don't ever use it.
Twitch chat is over time. I've learned that the second that you are negative, chat becomes negative. It's just kind of how that works. It's definitely a reflection of what is happening on stream. And when you play a game like this, at least when I do, I get very argumental with what's happening. Like, oh my god, this parry system is like so. It's just it hits. It sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Like it's just kind of all over the place. It doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. And the second that I do that, like chat just fires back right away. Like, oh no, you're fucking bad. Stop being bad. Yeah. So that type of stuff is rough.
I've had a lot of that shit lately in my chat about me giving a generalization.
Yeah.
Or saying something that is clearly just an opinion that I hold. Like, I think the spread gun is garbage.
Yeah.
And then they're like, turning around like, I could contradict this generalization. Let me jump in. It's like, and I think the example I used was like, ice cream is delicious and everybody loves it.
Somebody will say, no, it doesn't.
Oh my God. No, hundreds of people because that they love it. People love just being contrary.
Sure. So my reaction to all of that was one of the final bosses, there is a die that you jump on and parry to roll. And I started just saying, guys, it's completely random. There's no way that anyone could ever time this for about 3 hours as I would just jump on it every single time and get the first thing that happened. And because of that, as a result of that, I got the restart 4 times total, where it goes back to the very beginning after you do it. And I wasn't really that upset, but like chat would be like, oh, fuck, lol, all that stuff. But the more that I would do that, like I could just see people getting more and more upset every single time I trolled. And then you would have people saying like, guys, he's trolling, stop responding to it. So then they joined in this conversation. So it's 3 people with me at the top just being like, guys, it's random. I can't do anything about it. I have to take, it's a 1. It sucks that they made this random. I can't believe that the game developers make such a great game, but make this part random. And that was a result of being very tired, streaming for 10 hours and playing this game almost beating it in one sitting. So I don't recommend that, but it was a fun experiment to do for sure.
You were not the only streamer that thought it was random, for the record.
Yeah. I very quickly learned after I didn't want to time it because if I time it and miss it, I'd be more upset about missing it than I would be if I just jumped and got whatever I got. And so that's why I was doing that. And it was also just fun to troll people.
I've never been good at platformers, so I know that this would be just a death fest over and over again.
I was surprised by people that aren't say they aren't good at platformers. They still had a fun time. I think this game's very approachable with that in mind. Like, sure, you could suck at platformers, but they have an easy mode for it, and it's definitely a game of you're not inherently good at this. You have to learn the boundaries of the game, almost like any other game. But I would give it a try. It's worth it. I think this game is a really fucking good game.
And here's the big thing. I got an inordinate amount of people, especially when I had been trying a boss for more than 20 attempts, right? Which happened frequently, where people go, why isn't Ko getting angry? Why isn't he raging? And one of the reasons being is because there's two reasons, actually. One, this game is a great example of well-executed simplicity. It's not a complicated game. So it's just you need to do what you do really well. And that makes it so it's a kind of thing where you're always kind of honing your experience. You always kind of know what's going on, and you just realize that, oh, I need to get better at that. It's not like a, oh, I don't know what to do. I shouldn't have dodged here. When do I do? It's you kind of, the mechanics are simple. You can break them down easily and kind of go from there. And second of all, add in the music, the art, the just overall style of the game. It's just a joy to play. Like, it got to the point where I really started enjoying dying to the same boss over and over, because then I was like, good, this is going to keep the gameplay up. I get to keep playing the game. And as I got towards the end of the game, especially in World 3, I got legit frustrated when I beat a boss in a few attempts.
Yeah.
Like, I'd seriously be like, damn it. Like,
it
no.
took time away from the game, I agree.
I wanted that to be harder, especially the plane levels. Like, when I heard I beat the last plane level, because I love the plane levels.
I was
like,
opposite.
oh,
Yeah,
come on, man.
JP
Yeah, I love
fucking hates them.
Plane levels are the worst in the game. I wish there was no plane levels in this game. Only because I am just not a fan of bullet hell. And while it's not true bullet hell, before chat fucking starts jerking off to that, I don't like any simulation of bullet hell, whatever difficulty the bullet hell may be. That's what those flying levels are. So I'm not a fan of that. But
that's what claimed the controller unexpert.
Yeah,
was the first flying level. It was the Constellations flying level where she turned
the Zodiac
into like
boss.
the Zodiac boss. There you go.
Gotcha.
She was
Dude,
real pain.
I made the mistake of the first day that I played. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. Like, my stream's gonna be done in an hour. I'm gonna drink every death on a boss.
I saw that.
I got this nice 6-pack right next to me. I'll just take a swig every time I die in a boss. What I didn't anticipate is how really being even slightly tipsy can affect skill in this game.
Oh yeah.
So it got to the point where like of course I picked one of the worst bosses to do this on. I later found out, which was the flying dragon boss. And that's because it is basically a plane level, but you're on foot, and there are all these clouds and shit there, and there is legit RNG. Like, there's legit RNG in the third phase, where there's this giant flame in the middle of the screen, and there have to be random spawn clouds on the top and bottom, or you'll just get hit. And I died to that like 4 times in a row while I was drinking. Oh my lord, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that I was able.
And 80 deaths.
Jeez, I'm glad I was able to kill that boss as quick as I did, but I was also sad because like part of the fun of the game is like the struggle, right? It's the struggle. It's the stages of struggle. It's like, oh, this is hard. Fuck, this is really hard. Oh god, I'm fucking upset, and I beat it. That feels great. If you beat it real quick, you're just there's no like hill to jump over or hill to get over.
And it's funny you say that, because the next day I logged off that stream. I didn't beat it before I logged off. I tried it for 2 hours, and then I was like, I have to go. Like, I was supposed to go 30 minutes ago. I have to leave. And I was legit, like, it felt like I had watched right up to the end of a movie and didn't see the ending. So like that whole evening, I was at like broody, kind of like, I really wanted to beat that boss, motherfucker. So the next day, like I get on, right, and I plug in a new controller because I got a new one, and I was like, let me just try this a couple times. First attempt, I'm just messing around and die on the first phase. Second attempt, I'm like, okay, let me try with the new controller. I beat it.
Yeah.
Off stream.
Oh. What did you do?
So I leave the U of 1 screen on, and I was like, oh shit. And I went to my chat because it was like 10 minutes early, and I was like, guys, I'm so sorry about this. Like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, that sucks.
And I fired up the stream, and I was like, look, it's right here, and I showed the achievement, and the time was like 2 minutes before I started my stream and everything. And they were like, no, you have to beat it again. 2 attempts later, I beat it a second time.
There you go. That's
and at that point, I was just like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
So 2
times and 6 attempts, we're done.
One fight I didn't get to experience. So I'm curious if you guys could tell me the mechanic. The B boss, I beat on the first try. I just lucked out and just beat the boss on first. Like, was that boss? What are the stages of that boss? And is it like I sound so stupid, but is it like difficult? Was there struggle there?
Yes.
Okay.
The big struggle in the first one is the first phase is very like there's a lot going on in there. It's difficult. Second phase is relatively easy, but the third phase is a pain. And also a lot of people have the same issue that I do on the phase where her head drops down and the bullets start going up the side of the screen. Like it's real tough to dodge those.
Okay.
I would almost always lose life on those. There are some streamers that spent hours on that boss. I've got lucky too. I killed it sub 10 attempts, but the high single digits. But the last a lot of folks had trouble with that one. That one, the dragon and the casino. And some people, weirdly enough, had trouble with the boss. I didn't have too much trouble with the pirate boss.
There's a pirate boss, you say?
Yeah, see, I think I heard you had trouble with that one. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. But those are the big ones.
I'm trying to think the pirate
Because
boss.
I was using aforementioned weapon that is fucking ridiculous garbage. I was using the spread, and it's just terrible. It was a terrible weapon. The two best weapons in the game there's three good weapons in the game. There's the charge shot, there's the rings, the roundabout, and there's the homing shots. Those are the only three you need throughout the entire game.
See, I use power and shotgun.
Yeah, well, that's
Shotgun
what I'm
works
saying.
fine.
To each
Shotgun's
their own.
great on the very last guy on Satan. Like it was great.
It's total garbage on all bosses. You are a liar.
The very last phase of Satan, where it's the big eyes and stuff, and no matter where you shoot, every bullet hits him. Like it worked great.
No, hey, charge shot worked way better. I bet you.
Dude, charge shot is OP.
It's
Let's
really
just go
strong.
ahead and say it. Like
It's
all
really
the
strong.
best players use charge shot.
It's really strong.
If you have trouble with the boss or using charge shot, no, use charge shot. Cool, you beat it, great. It's like that's basically what happens. So
Yeah. I'm trying. What was the pirate boss?
Pirate boss is the ship where it's in World 2 on the southeast side. You go down a dock and there's a little ship.
Okay.
That guy right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't
That's
know.
me.
Yeah, that guy took forever for me because I didn't have the charge shot. I was using the shotgun way up close, and I just...
Dude, the charge shot is so ridiculous. And that's
shot's stupid good.
That's why I think I hated the flying level so much, because there was no variance in what you could do besides switching to bombs and like the pea shooter thing, just like the straight shot. I wish there was different options.
That's why I liked them.
Okay.
Because you could focus on the dodging and focus on moving around, and you just kind of held down X and kind of did your thing, and it didn't suck like homing shot.
Yeah.
Where I see, Zeke, you said you liked homing shot. I hated homing shot. I thought like it. I never used it. I used it.
No, I loved it because I could concentrate on dodging.
Yeah.
It's honestly with enemies, with bosses that have a lot of ads, and for the run and gun levels. They made the run and guns levels trivial.
It really did.
Like,
yes.
As you're running, it was just like pop, pop, pop,
Dude,
pop, 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 pop.
the
Everything
level
around you was dead.
The level that has the
awesome.
octopus at the end of the run and gun, the piers or
That-
whatever.
Motherfucking run and gun. That was the worst.
That's
I
the
had
hardest
so much
one.
trouble
But
with the run and gun, no pacifist, no shooting.
oh, that would be a night. I don't know how you would beat that final stage.
It was rough.
Because as soon as I got the homing thing, just by complete accident in the final phase where you have to ride the octopus, that entire area just became a joke. Like it was just stupidly easy because you just stand there and let it fucking shoot and kill everything, and you just got to jump from the pearls that come from behind you. And I beat that like in 2 attempts. After I
actually,
got
you know
that.
what? I used homing shot for that part.
Yeah, it makes it so trivial. It really does.
Just remember that. Yep.
But
And it actually works. It worked great there.
This boss, the robot boss, was the hardest. I spent an hour and like 20 minutes on it. Like as soon as I saw this phase, I knew that I was like, well, this is never. I probably won't be able to beat this part.
Well, it's because you're not shooting him. You're spending so much time being tiny.
Right. Well, and it's because for whatever
You
reason,
have to shoot him, JP.
I know that I eventually
I'm an
figured it out.
expert at this game.
The part it's not so much the things shooting out of him; it's dodging the giant like electro walls that come down.
Yep.
That was the part that really fucked me up.
Damn, you had to
love
be
it,
close
man.
that attempt.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Well, this is one of the screens that's kind of bugged, I think, where it doesn't show the actual how far you're at. But yeah, like for whatever reason, this was the hardest boss, and I remember stating like this is gonna probably not be beaten at the very beginning, and eventually I just got lucky, and I had to learn how to actually play bullet hell games where you just stare at that part of the screen and nothing else. You just hone in on your plane, shoot, and ignore everything that's happening on the right side of the screen.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and once I did that, I was like, well, this is not too bad. And you kind of have to learn the order that works best.
Dude, that's basically why I beat that boss.
Because you learn that quicker?
Just focus on where you are,
Yeah.
kind of glance to the middle to look for the big things, and just keep doing that. And if you keep firing towards the center of the screen, some of your bullets will hit them, and eventually you'll win. And, and that's how.
Eventually you'll win. I like. That's
Eventually
a good,
you'll win. Yeah.
Yeah.
philosophy.
You know what I
Eventually
really
you'll
like
win.
hearing about this game, and it speaks to its balance.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing that people have problems with different bosses.
Totally. I agree.
I like that. I like that. That means the there's not one boss that's like artificially more difficult than the others for whatever reason.
I agree.
I will say doing that fucking constellation or the Zodiac plane boss on expert was a fucking nightmare because it has like 6 phases and you can't like change guns or whatever.
Wait,
you
which
just have
boss?
to avoid everything.
Which
The
boss?
Zodiac boss.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it
You
becomes
had-
infinitely harder on not infinitely, but it becomes exponentially harder on expert.
Totally.
It's fucking dumb hard just to not be hit.
If you had to compare this game's difficulty with another game, what would you say?
It's like I would say they're not the same game whatsoever, but it is of the difficulty of Dark Souls, where once you learn what's happening, once you learn the rules of each level and of each boss, you start getting better and better each attempt, and then you just eventually summit over the finish line. I'm trying to
Well, then
think of
maybe
like
I could do it then.
Did you ever play Super Meat Boy?
See, I can't do that.
It's much less platforming than Super Meat Boy. It's more like Contra from the SNES days,
Okay.
in terms of difficulty. But then you also have like the Ikaruga bullet hell shit like this. So it's kind of a mix of all that, like the greatest hits of the SNES era.
But believe it or not, I can do this part. Like, this part's not that bad. This is what I grew up with.
Well, that
Like,
yeah,
playing
then
games
you're
like
gonna be
this with
great.
Me and my brother, so
Yeah.
no big deal on this part. But it's the platforming that I'm not good at. You know, I never beat Mario. Okay, I never did it. Never
I gotta
did it,
say
guys.
this though, even if the gameplay isn't your thing, the ambience, the art style, the music, the world, the characters, like this is one of those games that you're gonna want to check out. Even if you just run through everything on simple.
Totally.
Like, you know, it's
But
quality.
it's gorgeous. Like, I want to play it just because it looks so pretty.
Yeah. That might be.
I mean, it's music and art style will make a good game like excellent.
Exactly.
And this has all of that stuff. It has big band. It has barbershop. It has like all the like 30s esque style. With the animation is 30s esque as well.
Yeah.
Like very Steamboat Willie. Like very
Totally.
you know when animation like Felix the Cat, that kind of stuff.
My
Great.
my cousin was over. She doesn't play games at all. She saw this. I think I was watching Dodger, and she goes, "What is that Mickey Mouse game right there? What is that like old school Disney game?" And I was like, "That's perfect. Like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's that art style." In terms of like the negatives of this game, one thing that I have seen the majority of people be negative about is that the art style has a hard time when you first play it of seeing what you're actually doing damage to, unless you start to hone in on the fact that it's like blinking slightly. But some bosses, it's a little bit harder to see if you're actually hitting it with everything else going on the screen. Because there are some bosses where it's just like they do shit with the foreground that makes it like the struggle of the boss is just being able to see shit. I think the one that comes to mind is probably the plane area and the dice roll, where the foreground's kind of blocking stuff every once in a while, and the jockeys jump up. Yeah.
Yep.
The foreground there kind of fucks with a lot of people. But apart from that, I don't. It just seems to be like universally liked for the most part. I don't really see any too negative reviews of this. So yeah, if you want it, play it. Don't buy the Windows Store version though, because there is a gigantic bug. I don't know if it's been patched. Aurelian lost her save. Jericho lost his 6-hour save. Apparently, if you Alt-Tab with the Microsoft Windows Store version, like a hard Alt-Tab, not a click outside of the window, but a hard Alt-Tab, it does not save the game. So you can lose like your entirety of like Aaron played for 6 hours, and it didn't save her game. Jericho lost like 5 hours of game because he accidentally hit quit game instead of restart, and he lost his entire save. And that's fucking real shitty. So buy the Steam version or buy it on Xbox. And they look... everyone played the PC version here, right? No one played the console versions? I think they look pretty identical. I don't know if there's like a graphical fidelity bump on the PC version or anything like that, but it's $20. It's a great game. I think everyone liked it.
So is there some reason to use the Windows Store over Steam that I don't know about?
The people that had the Windows Store version were the ones that were given keys from Microsoft. That's why it was doing that. That's why they used that version.
So, okay. Buy games, you're fine. Accept games for free. Get your saves erased. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I
bet they didn't hashtag
They didn't hashtag add it. That's why. You know, the FCC.
There you go, man.
Came after him. Yeah.
Probably Bill Gates in the corner. He ran over to Tucker's computer. He's like, Control-Alt-Delete.
Yeah.
Erase.
I didn't realize there's a good old games version.
It's plain.
What do you get anything special with the GOG version? Do you guys know? Maybe chat will answer. You might get the soundtrack or something. I'm not sure. But that might be the better version because you actually, it's not DRM free or whatever the issue with the people have with that. So yeah, that's Cuphead. I think Zeke, you're pretty hyped for this game, and it kind of hit all your expectations, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
100%.
me and Co were probably like, oh, that game looks pretty good. And then we went into it and played it. It was we both really liked it. Yeah.
I was
when I
like,
first
I'm
saw
going to try
Cuphead,
this
it was
game. Let's see how it is. And I left it going, that was incredible.
Yeah. What were you saying, Burke?
I say it was like once I saw Cuphead and I saw what kind of game it was like, I was like, yeah, we'll be watching Zeke play this.
Yeah. I think a lot of people definitely watch Zeke for the rage. Twitch, you saw Twitch tweet you out, by the way, right? Zeke?
Oh yeah, I'm looking through all the tweets right now. I'm liking all the ones that are hateful.
Nice. Yeah, those are good ones.
Glorifying anger management problems. Heart. You are obviously brain dead. Heart. Lol, you're bad. Heart. There you go.
Oh my god, that's
just
great.
giving you all the love. Honestly, the reason why I'm hearting them and liking them is so I can mark them and come back and comment later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for
Read me
telling
tweets.
me where to find him so I can avoid him, which is the dumbest fucking statement ever.
What? That's an
Thanks
odd
for
one.
telling me where to find him so I can avoid him.
I had somebody tell me. I put this guy's name, the name of his channel on a post-it, and I put it above my monitor so I know where not to go when I go to Twitch.
Jesus, some people are vile.
Like, yes, now you've put me on your monitor where I will stay for all eternity.
Oh god. We got about 20 minutes till break. Burke, you want to talk Warhammer 2 for a bit? I think we'll have. So my issue with Warhammer, well, I guess we'll start off with that. My issue with Warhammer 2 is not that it's a bad game. It's that it's the same game past turn 50 on normal difficulties. Did you play this on a higher difficulty than normal?
I played on hard.
Did you?
I probably should be playing on very hard, actually.
Okay, because I feel like playing the game on normal probably made me lose interest in it quicker. And also a second question, did you auto-resolve a lot, or did you always fight?
I always fight if the red bar is like just a little sliver, like if it's like less than 10%, like if they got like 4 units on there or something like that, and it's just my entire army, there's no point in fighting that because it's gonna take like 15 minutes just to do it. So I ought to resolve that, but everything else I fight. Okay,
because I feel like I was playing the lizard guys, which you're playing right here. I don't know what other races you've played. I played everyone, every race except the rat people, the Skaven. I enjoyed the lizard people the best, but after auto-resolving, like around turn 50, it just got to become like an auto-resolve fest. And I think that's because I was playing it on such an easy difficult. After it, normal is great to learn the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like once you've learned the game, you got to restart and up it. Can you up it during?
You can up it while you're playing. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize
You totally
that.
could have.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's if you pause the game, you go to settings, and then you can up the difficulty of the campaign and battles.
Yeah.
So like if you have trouble managing your empire, you can drop that down, and you can if you're really good at the
overworld
combat
stuff.
aspect, you can up that up. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that was me and Strippin did a co-op campaign for this. We played on Dead, and then I had a solo campaign for the Lizards, and I think we both should have upped the difficulty in retrospect because it's just auto resolve nonsense. Then it became more playing the overworld aspect of the game and less about the fighting stuff. Which the overworld stuff's fine, but it's not what's going to keep you doing one more turn in this game, I think. But that being said, you played obviously a lot of the Warhammer 1. Do you think this is a true sequel, or do you think this is just more of an expansion?
I feel like, I wish they wouldn't have called it Warhammer 2, because it should have been, like Warhammer, Total War Warhammer, the New World, or something like that is what they should have called it. Because that seems to be the constant theme, is the confusion. People's like, is this the sequel? It looks exactly like the last one. And it is. It's like they're following the StarCraft model. 3 games, same thing. They're just adding to each other. And this is the same thing. It's adding to Warhammer 1. And they're going to do that with this grand campaign that's coming out like a month from now. Right now, yes. I've seen some of that. It's just, I don't like. You're just gonna take you a month to do that campaign.
Isn't it something like huge? It's like 130 factions and like 117 factions and like how many nodes? Like 250 or some shit.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. Yeah. Like it's literally it's probably gonna take you a month to complete this. This is like the biggest map they will ever do, that they have ever done.
Yeah.
And it's only and it's only like what. There's another portion yet to come.
Well, there's the demon stuff, right? Like the third part. Yeah, they said they're
that's what we suspect. Like, I think it's going to be the Warhammer 3, which should come out around this time next year. It's probably going to have the 4 demon. Like, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that's going to have the 4 demon armies, and then it'll probably have the ogre kingdoms, and then after that, because of what they did with Norska, which is not an army. And Warhammer 40K, Norska is known, but they don't have their own army book or anything like that, or not 40K fantasy. Mm-hmm. They're more like just units that Chaos just kind of pimps out. They just kind of take them like you're Russ now. But they fleshed out Chaos to be their own faction with all their own units and everything else. Is completely made it up. With obviously with help from Games Workshop. So now I'm like, well, what could they do now? Because there's an entire Oriental Empire over there in. On the other side, and there's we got Tomb Kings obviously with Warhammer 2. Tomb Kings is definitely coming. They're the Egyptian style mummy, unstoppable army guys. Like they're ancient, so they're obviously going to be a DLC. And then you have I think I just learned of these guys are Arbia, they're like
are they like the heaven people?
Yeah, they're like a Middle Eastern empire.
Oh,
like Arabia or something like that. Arbia or something. Arbery.
I didn't realize there was that many different factions.
Oh, there's lots.
I just knew Skaven, Dark Elves, High Elves, and kind of what everyone else knows, I would think. But yeah, in terms of the game, not too much changed. You're probably the one to speak to this a lot better than I am. What are the differences here for people that maybe were reluctant to jump into the first one that they might not be so reluctant to jump into the second one?
Well, if you didn't like the first one, there's really no reason to pick up the second one. I mean, let's just be honest there. It's like it's not your game at that point. You know what I mean?
What if you played the first one so much you got bored of it? Is there like what in 2 would want to bring those players back?
My answer is all the races are completely different from one another.
Yeah,
but I don't know what Burke's answer is. Yeah.
The Vortex campaign is nothing like the campaign in Warhammer 1. It's all about the Vortex. And in this campaign, the 4 races are all vying for control of this sacred almighty Vortex that has all this crazy amount of power. So you have to do these rites, and you follow this storyline on trying to claim it for yourself. And then you have these big battles with the 4 main races. All the races are in this from Warhammer 1. You can only play as the 4 until they release this expanded, grand campaign.
Right. And that's what I would wait for, Co. If you're going to start this game, I would actually wait for the grand campaign, because they're taking Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 and taking those 2 maps and making it one map.
Yeah.
And so you can play across, like we said, 100 and some odd different factions and like 290 settlements to capture.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's classical Warhammer 1 experience, like just conquer and dominate. You don't have to worry about the Vortex. The Vortex campaign is only to be, this is their one. Like, there was no reason to do another Conquer campaign when they already have that in Warhammer 1, and the grand, the combined map campaign, the Mortal Empires is what they call it, is going to do the same thing again. So the Vortex is interesting. It's fun. It's I'm sure it's just a precursor to the big one that everyone's waiting for, is the Mortal Empires.
Yeah.
So all the stuff, all the DLC, everything that you own, I think from that one is going to be available on the Mortal Empires.
Yeah.
But obviously you have to own both games for that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I felt like when I streamed this game, that was like one of the more negative things that came up a lot, was that fans of the series or fans of the first game were upset that basically it was a $60 DLC. It was a full price DLC that wasn't really, like we said, that many quote improvements on the first one. Nothing really changed. It's just more. And I think that's kind of the storyline that most people know this game by, unfortunately, is that it's $60 DLC at that point. And that kind of sucks. But
I'm sure people feel that way, but the amount of work that they put into this is ridiculous. Like when you zoom in on those units and you see that they have like little rune stones on a high elf sword that they didn't have to put. They could have put a generic thing in there and got away with that, but they didn't. So they're pouring their heart and soul into this game series. And the people that are complaining are the ones that complain, and the people that are enjoying the game are playing the game and don't give a crap about complaining about it. So
it's true.
This is their biggest selling thing ever. For someone who's a Warhammer fan and a Total War fan, this is a dream come true of a series. It's something that we've been wanting for a long time. So when I see people saying that, I'm like, okay, well, honestly, they're not making the game for you. They're making it for people like me, who's a massive fan, who loves this stuff. I could blow $60 going to the bar tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's just not that big a deal to me.
Yeah, it's true. Makes sense. And then what the gore DLC? They're putting that out pretty soon, right? Like they're adding blood into all the fights or something. Is that?
I think that's something you already have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know
if you own it for the first one, I think you own it for all of them.
Okay.
Now, and the blood DLC is the other thing people complain about. But here's like history with Total War. It goes back to Shogun 2. They're trying to sell this game to a much broader market. And a lot of countries, you got blood in it. No, it's not being sold here, or it's going to get some crazy rating or whatever. So. They take the blood out so they could sell to a larger audience. It's actually the Total War community that was like, could you guys put the blood back in? We don't care if you want to charge like whatever for it. And they actually listened to their community. They added it, though I wasn't like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Shogun 2's blood because it's like very Kill Bill-ish. It was like, it was all sprayed out of their neck and everything. But they did it. They added it for like, I don't know, $1.99, $2.99, and we were all happy about that. And they've been doing that ever since. And it wasn't until Warhammer that there was a bitch fit about it, because people are like, how dare they do that? Because Call of Duty's got blood in it. Well, it's a different kind of game.
I feel like that, for whatever reason, Warhammer, the first one, Warhammer 1, started to reach the fringe audience, kind of like going outside of their boundaries. I got a ton of new people. I was one of them. I think Co was one of them as well. We jumped in that first one, never really playing some of the other Total War games, and we're kind of blown away by the campaign stuff. I think we both really liked the first one. But yeah,
dude, played that game into the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. I remember you playing the dwarves, right? You're playing.
Dude, I played everything.
Okay, that's right. Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I didn't play the second one, was because I really played that first one into the ground. I tried every campaign. I did 2 full campaigns. I played it so much, by the time I was done with it, I was like, I am done with this, period.
Yeah, I will say
that one of the reasons 2 really had to sell me, and that's the thing. I still feel like it hasn't. I don't know why. Like a lot of people who I very much trust their opinions, like Burke, Bikeman, all you guys, have told me it's good, but I just, for some reason,
it's definitely more the same. And if you're not down to play,
I mean, it's the StarCraft model, StarCraft 2 model.
Totally.
I mean, like the expansions were more or less, continuing the story, but the multiplayer didn't really change besides a couple extra units. The
co-op changed a bit though.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
They added a new free-for-all mode in this, which is a blast, by the way.
I haven't checked that out yet. Is it like Civ free-for-all kind of?
4 armies, and you can't just sit back and try to be the last one, because if you do that, you'll lose, because it's based on points. So the more you kill, the more points you earn. and it's a fun, like, just to see 4 armies just going at it in the center of the map. That's a blast.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know they added that in there.
But the formula is still solid. You know, like what worked for Warhammer 1, they didn't change much. The map is better. Some of the finer details are more smoother. Like they hammered out some of the more annoying parts of it. But yeah, it's pretty much a standalone expansion to the last one.
Yeah, I would agree. Zeke, you never touched the first Warhammer, right? Or Total War Warhammer? This is kind of not your jam?
I did.
Okay.
I tried it out. It wasn't my jam.
Yeah. I didn't think
it was. I think I played it for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and I went, not for me.
Yeah.
Seems like a really cool, great game, but not up my alley, man.
Yeah. I know for me, the one... Even when I was still kind of bored by a lot of the fights because they were so easy on normal, which I should have upped the difficulty, it was fun when it was like an 80% or like a 20-80 win-loss. And me and Strippin would go in, and you can gift your co-op partner units of the army, and they control those units during the fight. And we'd sit there and be like, all right, the game says this is unwinnable or very hard to win.
Mm-hmm.
Let's exploit the terrain on this map, figure out where we can put our archers, and figure out what we can put in front of them to make sure that we win this no matter what. And that was like the best parts of the entire experience for us, was getting something that's exceptionally hard and winning because we understood the basics of the game in terms of, you know, higher terrain for your archers and making sure they're not on skirmish mode so they don't fall back. They hold their ground when they get charged and stuff like that. Like, that stuff was really fucking cool.
As long as you don't corner camp.
As long as well, we did a couple corner camping, and I understand that's frowned upon by the community, only because it's kind of a cheap tactic for sure. But there's one node. The other thing is the maps. The maps where the battles take place, I felt in this one were fucking gorgeous. They had so many things going on really in the backgrounds. Like, you would be fighting in front of these, you know, gigantic fucking swords in the side of a mountain as you have like armies and stuff fighting on them. Or there was in the Lizard campaign, you would fight around a bunch of gigantic altars that would eventually become like giant quest battles where the chaos would be summoning a portal or something like that, and you'd have to defend them and all that stuff. They did a really good job with that stuff. But there was one...
Did you ever...
What? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you ever do attack a Skaven city that was underground?
Yes, those look great too. Yeah.
There's like underground waterfalls, and the light kind of comes from a crack in there, and it casts down on the ground. It was gorgeous.
It was really, really gorgeous. There's one node in the very north, on that kind of the ice chaos area, Burke, and it was a bridge on the defense.
Oh,
and I love bridge maps because there's no way that they can get to you unless you have that bridge fight, and you just put your archers on the back, you put your frontline guys there, and then you just hit play, and you kind of almost default win on normal. I assume that's not going to be possible on some of the harder difficulty settings, but that was the good stuff.
If you set up a good front line, I mean, you'll dominate on a bridge map. Like, they have to get pretty clever. They'd have to have flying units basically to disrupt you from that.
Yeah,
or some really disgusting artillery or something. But yeah, typically, you know, bridge maps are in favor of whoever has the bridge.
Yeah.
As it was historically, you know, in ancient warfare.
It makes sense. It makes sense. But yeah, my recommendation on this, if you haven't bought into it already, you're probably not going to. If you played the first one and you haven't bought into it already, you're a little hesitant, it'll probably be on a Steam sale this winter, so I would just wait. I think historically they do pretty big sales on these games around Steam sales time, and we're approaching one in the next month or so. So just wait for that. They'll probably mark it off. And I think even though it is, quote, a $60 DLC, it's worth it. You get a lot of factions in here. It's not like they're rinse and repeating all the different armies from the first game. Each army has a completely different mechanic when it comes to the how they work in the overworld. Did you play the Dark Elves at all?
I haven't. That's the only ones I haven't touched yet.
Man,
I'm like right in the middle of a Lizard campaign.
They're kind of fucked up. They have like a slave system, and you have to balance out public order with slaves, and it really drains on the city if you have too many slaves, because then everyone's fucking upset because, you know, they're in slavery, and that's not fun. And so the public order just constantly drops nonstop. So you have to basically sacrifice slaves to get that back up.
Oh my God.
It's really dark. They are the Dark Elves.
So the concept is that you don't want people around to complain, so you kill the complainers.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about Malakath.
Well, here's the thing.
Darth Vader as you can get in the Warhammer universe.
It's also the funny part about playing the Dark Elves co-op is Sam Strippin played Malakath, and I played his mother, who is also the head of the Cult of Pleasure, who also wants the best for her son. And so the best for her son is her in bed. And so they screw a lot. And
yeah, they do.
They there's a lot of
they went all Game of Thrones with
They went Game of Thrones. There's a lot of incest in there, and it's really fucked up. But that's Warhammer. That's, you know,
Game of Thrones got its incest from Warhammer, man.
There's no one is really good in the world of Warhammer Fantasy.
No.
The closest being are probably the lizards, but they want genocide, so they're not really that good either.
Yeah, they want to kill the greatest evil.
Yeah.
But they also want the lesser races to get out of the way because they just need to go and let the lizards do what they got to do. They just want to kill you in order to save the planet, I guess. I don't know.
They want to save the planet. They're one of the oldest races or whatever, so they're trying to, like Burke said, get rid of the ultimate evil, but also get rid of everyone else because everyone else is lesser. So and they're the good guys, the quote good guys,
the closest good guys. Yeah.
But the cool thing is, Burke, did you go with which legendary hero did you go with when you started your lizard campaign?
I cannot pronounce his name, but he's Grox.
Okay, you went with the opposite.
I didn't go with the fat toad. Yeah.
The leader of the opposite one that Burke's playing is a giant space toad. I'm not kidding. He's literally from space, and he sits on a fucking throne, and he just kind of hovers around. And eventually you can upgrade his mount to a giant stegodon, and he just rides a massive fucking dinosaur into battle. And it's really cool.
And he is like the most overpowered caster.
He's really broken.
He is crazy. He has like in Warhammer, like usually it's like a wizard will like specialize in a school of magic, like life or death magic or metal magic or something. This guy is casting things from everything. Yeah. You know, he's just disgusting.
He also has he's got basically like a web or a net, and it's a massive AoE. So if people are running or if like cavalry, archer cavalry are like kind of keeping you at bay and kind of backing up nonstop, you just net them, and the net stays for long enough to where you can get a real easy surround with it. And so it's kind of broken in that sense. A lot of people are saying it's way too strong.
Well, to be clear, I was not aware this game had Battletoads.
Oh,
it has dinosaurs too, buddy.
Tons of dinosaurs, man. You get
Are there dragons, and are there two of them?
Yes, there's dragons. Yes. Yeah. The
chaos, Battletoads and double dragons.
The chaos get dragon mounts, and they also get giant black dragons that are just fucking nasty as hell. It's really cool.
The coolest charge I have ever seen in this game was I used one of the rights for the lizardmen that spawns an army of dinos.
Yes, the feral carnosaurs.
And I made an army, and then I got into a fight with somebody, and then I set all the dinos to charge, and then I played Welcome to the Jungle, and I zoomed in and watched the battle, and you just see an army of lizards and dinos just trashing the enemy army. And I was like, I can't wait for Blood DLC. Or for the Blood DLC to go active, I guess, in this game.
The carnosaurs are crazy, man. The feral carnosaurs or whatever are just giant T-Rexes, basically, and they just dominate everything.
They look like Indominus Rex. They really do.
Yeah.
You know, from Jurassic World.
Totally.
So,
and I like the Croxigars, the crocodile people. They're fucking super strong.
Did you see them bite? They'll literally bite someone in their mouth, and then they roll around like a real alligator.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's really fucking
And then
cool.
they swallow them. They just throw their head back and eat them.
I really like the lizard guys. They're probably one of my favorite races. The ancient stegodons that heal, the just giant artillery guys. Those are fucking cool. Yeah. They have some really cool units in this game for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like they went all out, man. Like for me, it's just my dream game. You know, like. This is back when I was a kid, man. I used to love like the little micro machine, armies and stuff, and didn't care for like the big figurine action figures. I love the little stuff because I want to have huge armies, and now I can do it in these games. And
hey guys, if you want to see Burke's clip, it was linked in chat, but JP probably can't show it on stream since it has Welcome to the Jungle playing in it.
I can't play it, but we can show it for sure. I'm not gonna play it.
It's also, if you want to see it with sound, there's a link in chat. You scroll up.
Yeah. Here, let's.
It's a good charge, man.
Let's watch.
I think we just keep doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, look at those are the
Yeah,
Carnosaurs. Those are fucking rad. Are you
They
finding the
just
Skaven here?
wreck.
What are you
Look
finding?
at 'em.
Oh, you're finding the... Wait. What army are you
That's
fighting?
the undead.
Oh, the
That's
undead. Okay. Gotcha.
We decided that we were going to cleanse the undead from the land because their taint is infecting the great plan.
Yeah.
So the lizards declared war, and this just wrecks city. Those dinos just tear them apart.
Yeah, there's the giant fucking stegodon right there.
And those things are awesome.
Those
too.
things are
those
so cool,
birds.
man. Oh,
You
yeah,
can't see it
yeah.
right now, but there's these pterodactyls above, and look, they're throwing little bombs down.
Yeah, did you
And
get
they're
the
just
fire
exploding.
upgrades for them?
Yeah, that's what they're
Molotov
throwing.
things? Yeah.
It's disgusting.
They did a really good job with the lizards are awesome. The dark elves are... I never really got to the same level of happiness when I got like their big bad units. The black dragons are cool, but you're not going to beat a giant like T-Rex monster just going and ripping people up.
Now, see, I've played the high elves, I played Skaven and the lizardmen. I think like if you were new to this, lizardmen might be a good start because they tank so well.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, you won't lose. You could probably win a battle with half the size of the army that's attacking you.
Yep.
Because they tank so much, but they're not fast. So keep that in mind. They can't catch anything.
The opposite side of
decides
that,
to run.
dark elves are generally one of the harder races to play. So much so that when we asked to play the devs, like, you know, me and Sam suck. What race should we play? Don't play dark elves. They said they're the hardest one to like maintain public order. They're the hardest one when it comes to fighting. You have to know what you're doing. Play the high elves. They said to play that. It's probably one of the better starts. But I think the lizard guys, yeah.
The high elves were good because all you had to do was get those sea guard as your front line because they're bow and arrow and they're frontline soldiers because they have a spear and shield.
Right.
And then get some archers behind them, and the range of the high elves is just ridiculous.
Yep.
I had cases where another army of equal size and power to mine tried to march across to me from the other side of the battle, and before they could even reach me, they were routed because of the arrow storm.
Yeah.
From the high elves. They're just disgusting with arrows.
That's good. That's good for sure. Burke, you still streaming this game? You gonna play this game more?
Yeah, I'll be playing it tonight. I still have a good campaign with lizards going. So
cool. If you guys want to watch some Warhammer, check out Burke tonight. We're gonna take a break though. We're due for it. We'll bring Zeke and Co back into the conversation. Still got, oh god, Battle Chasers, Divinity, Indie Sunday. We still got a bunch of games to talk about. Battlefront, which came out today. Me and Burke will talk a little bit about that.
Frostpunk.
Yeah, there's tons of games to talk about. Ruiner.
Hell Let Loose.
Yeah, a lot. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk about all those and more right after this. We'll be right back with more Dark Frames. We'll see you then.